And we are live. I apologize, guys, for being a little late. I had some technical difficulties, but we are live now. So, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
With me today, we have my sister from another Miss Leona from Ebony Ivy Thyme. And I tell you what, we have some interesting things to talk about tonight. And we are definitely going to be bringing the tea, as they say. So let me just ask you this question. If you felt that your grocery bill is creeping up, you're not imagining things. Because I tell you what, I've been to the grocery store 2 times in the last month, and I was like totally shocked at prices. And I only go a couple times a month. So to see how much they had risen I was just awestruck. Leona, what about you? What have you seen in regards to that?
I tell you what, it is crazy. I did one delivery order and then I forgot something. So I had to run back to the grocery. And that was today. I picked up 3 items. It was $50.
Ooh.
And we're talking, I just went, what in the world? How did we get from 0 to 50 that quick? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And what I did notice is that it's not quite as crowded as it used to be in the grocery store.
No, it's not. It's not. Fewer people are shopping, and they are being very, very selective. That is the thing that I noticed. I saw this young couple, just cute as bud, when I was in the store the other day. And you know me, I'm nosy. So I stopped them and said, "Are you guys newlyweds?" And they were not. She said, but they do, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. So they're in process. But they both had a list and they were like checking it twice, and they were being very conscientious about what they purchased. And then I saw another young lady who was shopping, and she said she had 3 boys. They weren't with her at the time. They were at school, but she said she had 3 boys. And she said grocery prices were just crazy. We were both standing in front of the chicken aisle. We were looking at they had this big packs of chicken legs, $5 at Kroger. So that's where we were.
It is just outrageous. And it's not just, for instance, we had come from the vacation house here. I needed paper products. So when I ordered paper products, I nearly fell over at the cost, because typically I always buy large varieties, a large amount, so that I don't have to go frequently. And to pay almost 25, close to $30 for something that you're going to throw away.
Right. Toilet paper and paper towels. And even napkins. I usually like to buy a certain brand of napkins.
Me too.
And they're a little pricey, but I could just use 1 napkin. So I've been buying the cheaper napkins, but then you end up using 2 or 3. So am I really saving any money?
Not really. Not really. Well, I went to cloth. I went and pulled out all the cloth napkins I could find. I didn't care what they look like, but that's what we're going to be using.
That's a good idea. I've got some in my buffet too. I probably should get those out.
But somebody was saying, to switch from paper to cloth, you almost have to run the numbers, because by the time you use the washing machine and you wash the napkins and do all that, you're probably going to come out about the same no matter what.
Well, this is true too. It's
just, of course, if we think environmentally, then we'll stick with the cloth napkins.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things that we're going to try to do today, people, is try to break it down, like between the must-have staples. We'll talk about some storage solutions, and then what those tariffs really mean at the grocery stores. So let's get started with the big picture. Leona, what do you think is pushing up these prices?
Well, shall we go there?
I think we're going to have to.
I think we're going to have to. We have some things that are going on in Washington that I'm not either here nor there at this point, but I am saying that some decisions that are being made in Washington are not being made with us in mind.
Right.
And so because of that, the prices are going up.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear on the news, oh no, the prices aren't going to go up. We won't be affected by the tariffs until 2026, and da 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 da, and that the tariffs weren't really supposed to go into effect until the new year. Well, wrong, 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 because almost the second they said that, those prices started to climb.
Well,
So,
here's the other thing in
mhm,
association with that. Since we don't like clothes shop every week, at least I don't. Most people
I
don't go
know.
clothes shopping every week, but we do tend to grocery shop every
Hmm.
week or every 2 weeks. So
Hmm.
we're going to feel the pinch at the grocery store a lot
Hmm.
quicker than we do, say, at the clothing store. Unless you're doing school shopping, then you're going to feel it right away. But once you
Oh
get
yeah.
that out of the way, then you're looking at something different. But
Hmm.
you're going to feel that pinch at the grocery store because most of the produce that we use is imported. And
That's
so
right.
those import tariffs or those import taxes, we're going to feel those things right away. In addition to that, there's some other things that we're going to be looking at. And I got a couple articles that I found that was
Hmm.
really quite interesting in regards to that. And it said that Campbell's warned that new tariffs, including retaliatory duties from the EU and Canada, are hurting their profits. And because Campbell's profits are being hit with a sledgehammer, then that means they're going to have to pass those profits on to the consumer. So we're going to
Absolutely.
get some of that too. And I was thinking, like, so what are some of the problems with the tariffs? And I wrote myself a little note over here that when you look at Campbell's soups and things like that, aluminum and
Hmm.
steel have tariffs on them, which means that the
Hmm.
price that Campbell's pays for those cans to put those soup in is going to go up.
Yeah, and transportation,
Oh,
because
yes.
the cans themselves, they have to be transported, the steel,
Mm-hmm.
all of that has to be. So there's a lot that rolls into that final cost that gets to us. And unfortunately, we have kind of become the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of countries, and I tell you what, of course, we're talking about food tonight, but
Mm-hmm.
as recently as the day before yesterday, I saw where, I'm a planner,
Mm-hmm.
and several of the businesses that normally sold to the United States, because of the tariff costs, they have cut the United States off. So,
Oh,
and
okay.
they cut them off as of the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no one will be able to order those products anymore. Now, while that doesn't bother me in the least bit, really, in the big picture, but the thing of it is that why? It was so nice to be more international with what we
Mm-hmm.
were doing,
Mm-hmm.
as well as our food.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting food from other countries. And, now maybe it was me. I went down the international aisle at Publix, and I kid you not, I think it shrunk.
Oh, it might have. It might have, because when you think about whether or not they're importing some of these international foods, there's
Hmm.
certainly going to be a change. The other thing that I noticed when I was doing the prep for this show was you
Hmm.
talked about the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's what I found interesting. So I had mentioned last week, I think it was last week, that some schools have nut-free zones because there's so
Hmm.
many peanut allergies. And
Hmm.
someone had mentioned that, it just seems odd that someone might not be able to see a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in their kids' lunch. Well, when you consider that the cost of even something as simple as that is going
Hmm.
up, there was in that article that talked about the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. The
Uh-huh.
average cost is about $6.50.
Hmm. I
And I
know.
was like, what, for PB and J?
I know. But what that says to us, that says several things. First of all, part of the PB&J is the bread.
Yes.
And so if we can at least eliminate that by baking our own, then that saves a little bit.
Yes.
And so I'm just kind of throwing that out there to
Mm-hmm.
those who are in the world, to let them know one of the skills that we need to adopt is to
Mm-hmm.
go back to bread making, because that would certainly help tremendously. And, of course, almond butter, the other nut butters, cashew butter, they were already a little pricey.
Yes.
And so I have not paid as close attention to them to see if they're increasing as well. But, here we are. Here
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, here we are. So peanut butter jelly sandwiches, they're up 6%.
Yeah.
And so thanks to tariffs on perishable imports like fruit and dairy as well. So what's that? Oh, coffee. You're right. Go ahead and talk about coffee.
Oh
Right.
my goodness. I am a diehard Starbucks girl, really.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what I've come to.
8 o'clock.
My mom and dad used 8 o'clock when I was little. And I had never bought a pack of 8 o'clock coffee because I was too busy buying Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Look what I got. I got 8 o'clock.
It's
And I'm
cheaper.
happy to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I even went in Kroger. I don't know. Do you buy Kroger's coffee?
No, I have not. I usually buy Starbucks, and I have been biting the bullet and just buying the higher price. I did pick up some 8 o'clock at Walmart one day because I get the K cups.
Uh-huh.
No, I should make my own K cups, but I buy the K cups.
Uh-huh.
And I found I didn't care for the 8 o'clock as well as I did the Starbucks. Now, I haven't been drinking as much coffee, so maybe I could switch over and go back to that.
Yeah.
Because I've also switched up the kind of cream that I purchased. But because of coffee prices are definitely up because coffee growers have had a problem. There's been death of coffee. The coffee beans haven't come in as well as they thought. And then the import on them. So
no. And the 8 o'clock. Now I got French roast the other day only because, hold on a second. I'm sorry.
I want to make sure I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. Because I got knocked offline. If you guys noticed, I was coming on late. And the problem was that someone called me just as we were getting ready to start. And it knocked me offline. And then I couldn't figure out how to get back online. So that's okay. You were talking about coffee, and I was trying to figure out how to put my phone on.
The best, if you decide to use 8 o'clock, use their, it's called the Italian espresso. It's their other dark, but it kind of has a nice chocolatey flavor to it. And for those of us who like hot chocolate, it brings about the best cup of coffee. And but when you have to use this, you got to use a good creamer with it, because I'm a cream girl, and I used to use Walmart's creamer. Well, no more. I've bit the bullet and actually, gone to another brand. But it's just that, I don't want to have to do away with everything that I like.
And that's just it. I hear you, and I feel your pain. I was like, okay, so I don't want to change coffees, but I will if I have to. But I did switch creamer because I typically like the International Delight Caramel Macchiato. It's what I like to get. But I'm trying to find a plant-based creamer that I like as well. So I did pick up some oat milk. It was an oat milk Simply Truth or something like a Kroger brand oat milk creamer, caramel creamer. And it's okay. It's just okay. But I've been using it when I've had the coffee lately. I either had it with the brownie, which was really sweet and rich, so that was fine, with pancakes and maybe some strawberry jam on an English muffin. So I've been trying to make the adjustment with the creamer because I've been having more sweetness in whatever it is I'm eating with. So I'm trying to do that. And Starbucks coffee is pretty strong. So when you need a healthy creamer that will stand up to the strength of that coffee. And I found when I used the 8 o'clock or the Pete's or the other brands, it wasn't as robust.
That's true. And like I said, you may have to use a little bit extra, as you're perking it. And so, I'm not really sure that I'm really saving myself, but I do find that their Italian roast is very good, and I don't have to use any extra. And
Okay.
we have a bowl setting on the coffee pot. So if you happen to have that, it slows down the drip a little bit
Mhm.
and really allows it to get more flavor into the coffee. So take a look at your coffee, the
Oh,
coffee
you know
pot
what?
and
Now
see.
that you say that, my Keurig has 3 settings for like an 8 ounce, a 10 ounce, and a 12 ounce cup.
Hmm.
And I usually get the 12 ounce cup. But
Hmm.
if I do the Pete's or the 8 o'clock, if I do the 10 ounce cup, it'll be stronger, will it not?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, I could do that. So,
Yeah.
and speaking of coffee prices, as you mentioned, when I look at the article here, it says retail coffee prices jumped over 14% in July.
Hmm. Yep.
So, and then and that was before tariffs on Brazilian imports took effect. So these tariffs could alone cut into Smucker's full year earning for about 0.50 cents per share. And that's according to Barron's. So, me and Miss Leona got some resources to back up our stats. Now, let me just see who's here. And let's see, we can let people see what they're saying. We got a lot of people on. We're going to have to
Yeah.
check this out here.
Yeah.
So the very first person on tonight was
Aw.
vibing with Yaya. So Yaya, thank you so
Hi,
much for
yeah, yeah.
joining us. Good to have you here. And she says that she finally caught us live. She's been busy and watching the replay, so I'm glad you're with us tonight. And then Duncan Party of 6 is here tonight as well. So good evening to everyone. And then let's see. So Lola is with us tonight. She hasn't been here for a
Oh,
while. She says meat is so expensive. And yeah, so me and the young lady stood there in front of the chicken section looking at the chicken. I was thinking about buying a whole chicken actually,
mhm.
because I was going to make a dinner to take somewhere. And the whole chicken was like $12. It was like $1.79 a pound.
Oh
Chicken
my
was a
goodness.
$1.79 a pound. A pound at Kroger.
Ooh, and that
$1.79.
wasn't organic?
It was just regular chicken. So I just picked up the chicken legs that you got. They look like there was about 10 of them in a pack for $5.
Hmm.
So I got
Hmm.
that. Let's see.
Wow.
So Tamika says she goes weekly and she's noticed those food prices going up.
Hmm.
And then Yaya said no one was in the store for the holiday that just passed.
Mm-mm. And I did notice not as many people had large cookouts Labor
Yes.
Day. They
Mm-hmm.
were smaller little groups or just, small
Mm-hmm.
families.
So here's Tiffany, and she says that she's prone to panic. So she's glad that we're talking about these things tonight. And Tiffany, we're here every week and we are talking about something related to helping you save on your budget, cook
Hmm.
better at home,
Hmm.
or be a better homemaker so that you
Hmm.
can, conserve in that way. So thank you for joining us. And of course, here's our other
Absolutely.
sister.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah, there's Stephanie with us tonight.
She's been
And
following it up.
mhm. And then Tamika says, yes, it's impacting our communities big time. Hey, you know what?
Mhm.
Look who's here. It has been here for a while.
Oh
Carol.
my goodness. How about
Yeah.
that? Hello, hello.
Oh, we got somebody from Australia. Hello, Nat from
Wow.
Brisbane. You know what? Let us know what prices are like there. I've heard
Mhm.
that whereas we complain about our prices here, I've heard that Australian prices are off the chain. So
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about your peanut butter prices, your coffee prices, and the chicken prices. Let us know.
absolutely. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And then we have lots of people saying hello. And so I'm not gonna, show all of those, but we will say hello to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, you're
And
right.
let's see. And so Yaya says everything has shrunk, and I have to
Mhm.
agree. And Hazel is here, and she said she went today and that the prices had gone up so much. She did have to restock quite a bit, but like wow. And that was me too. I was doing some restocking the other
Me
day, and
too.
oh,
I know. It hurt my feelings. It really hurt my feelings.
So Terry said she stocked up on her K-cuts when it was a little cheaper. And you know, I tried to stock up on the K-cups, and I do have some back there. I got some Pete's and I got some 8 o'clock. And I got some other brand that I don't like. But you know, but when the Starbucks is on sale, and who knew that we would think $8.99 a carton would be on sale for 10 K-cups? It's just ridiculous.
It is.
But Tiffany says she switched. She doesn't have a second cup of coffee anymore,
Okay.
just a cup of herbal tea. So she'll buy a cheap coffee so she can't trade down, but just cut out. They already buy a cheap coffee, and then she uses milk and makes her own vanilla syrup. Now, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, Jihan says she's been shopping at Trader Joe's to save. The last time she was at the big store, a small packet of chicken strips, wow, $10 to $12.
Oh my goodness.
And I wouldn't have thought that Trader Joe's was a place to save. I could be wrong. I've only been there a couple times.
Yes, depends on what you're looking for. We used to shop there a lot. And but it's quite a drive, and after the gas got crazy, it wasn't worth making that trip.
Tudu buys coffee from Hawaii, no tariffs at least, and the quality is fabulous. How do you get coffee from Hawaii?
From Hawaii, you have to share your secret.
Yes. So Jerry, and this is not our little sister Jerry, this is Jerry Bird. She says prices are ridiculous on the California coast. And you know, Jerry, I think I did hear that California prices were really up compared to what we have here in Indiana anyway. So I guess I shouldn't complain as much as I do about that, but they are higher in other areas, other parts of the country. So,
and California was a little more pricey anyway. And for them to go up, you know, that's got to be just absolutely horrible.
And then coupon sale, they've noticed a change in their limits one, so
not as many. Yeah.
Oh, so now Tahara says that meat is always expensive. She can't justify paying over $5 for a pound of beef. Girl, when I was at Kroger yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the cheapest that I saw ground beef was like about $6.50 or something like that. It was not $5. So I went down to the manager special to see if there was any down there in the markdown section, and there was not. So so there was not. So that's something for us to think about. So, okay, so we've done all the greeting we're going to do right now. Let's go ahead and get on to our next topic. Otherwise, we're going to have people jumping off because we're greeting folks too much. But let's talk about our pantry champions. What are the things that we need to pick up now, you know, to make sure that our pantry is stable? So for the good part, what staples help counter these rising costs. And I know you were thinking about that earlier.
Yes, in fact, behind the computer, I've got a whole little stack of things that I thought, you know, these are some of the things we're going to need and we need to get now. One thing in particular I thought about was rice. And let's just talk about it. Right now, I've got it actually stored in glass.
Yes.
And I typically keep mine in glass. And I do have a bag of it, but wherever you can find it on sale, if you can find it on sale, and if not, let me just say, you may not be able to find a large bag of rice on sale at this point, but I'm saying buy it today.
Those 25-pound bags of rice?
By next week, no telling what it'll cost. I mean, or next month, no telling what it'll cost, because of the tariffs and whatever else happens between then.
Well, not just the tariffs, but also the rice crops have not been good in some of the other places. So they're cutting back on what they're exporting. So in addition to the tariffs, we have to look at the supply chain disruption. So if the countries that normally grow rice is not exporting rice, they're keeping it all for the people that they have at home, then that's going to affect prices either. And I wanted to show, you were showing you kept your rice in glass jars. This is a repurposed jar. This was a jar that I had some pasta sauce came in. It's my
Mm-hmm.
classical pasta sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And so I store rice in that. And then also we can consider Mylar bags.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Another thing besides rice, of course, your beans, and I pulled beans and lentils. I have those as well. I keep those. Now, this one just happens to be green onions, but somewhere here,
Wait, you got green onions in a jar? Let me see that.
it's dehydrated. They're dehydrated green
Oh,
onions.
I
And
see that.
I've got a couple of jars of these. And
Mm-hmm.
here's your dehydrator. Cut them up and put them in the dehydrator. And you make your own little green onions that you have that you can just toss in whatever it is that you're preparing.
Okay.
So, green onions, of
I
course.
got these are what black-eyed peas. Since you were talking about beans, I also
Mhm.
have beans in Mylar bags as well. So I just wanted to bring it
Now,
since you
how do they seal? Do you have to seal those with your regular sealer, or do they have some kind of strip?
I seal them. I have to seal them with a curling iron because I
Okay.
don't have one of
Okay.
those other things. So what I do
Okay.
is once I fill them, I'll
Mm-hmm.
get them filled, and then I'll put the oxygen absorber in them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll leave maybe like this much open to
Mm-hmm.
drop the oxygen absorber in, and then I close it up and I put the curling iron over that, and
Okay.
it
The
just
process.
seals it off.
Okay. Okay. But that's a thought. Now, here's the thing. Tomato products. Most of us cook a lot with tomatoes. We don't
Yes.
even realize it. Soups and stews and casseroles and you name it. And canned tomatoes are one of those things that, if we can pick those up, pick them up now. My
Now's a good time too because tomatoes are coming in.
Yes. And the other day I went to the farmer's market, and normally I would be able to buy a case of tomatoes. Do you know there was not one case
You
of
mean in the
tomatoes?
cans?
No, this was case of fresh tomatoes
Oh, fresh
that I
tomatoes.
could bring home and clean up and either, decide what I want to do with it. There was not
Oh.
one case. And she said because of the weather, they did not have an overabundance of tomatoes. Now they had beautiful tomatoes that were there. She said, but not like they would normally have.
My
And
tomatoes aren't good either.
yeah, so anyway, but I did pick up some canned tomatoes, and I went for the larger cans. And then, the big ones, let me grab one real quick while you're
Okay. I think what Miss Leona is talking about is really good. I didn't bring out any canned items today because I knew she was going to do that. But when you think about what are some of those things you need to stock up on now to try to guard against the upcoming prices, is going to be tomatoes. And so here you go.
Okay. Now, this is one of those large cans, and this is the 28-ounce
28
can.
ounces.
And
Okay.
occasionally you might even be able to find it larger, but this one's usually more readily available. Buy them in here. And in fact, buy them whole, because you can always reduce the size of this. Rather than just buying the crush, you can use your blender or, to crush them up to the size that you want. Depending upon if you're going to make spaghetti sauce, you can just use your hands and crush them as you're putting them in. You're probably going to have more going with a larger can than you would with a smaller can. And so you'll have enough left to be able to put into a freezer bag or one of our little ball freezer cups that we both have. And then that way you have about 2 cups left over to be able to use for another meal. And so get as many of these on the shelves as you possibly can.
I want you to say that again.
Which part?
Get as many of these on the shelf as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Now, the other day, because I was there and they had it, because I did go in one store. I was in Kroger's. Kroger's had seemingly plenty. But then I had gone in Food Lion. Food Lion did not have any 28-ounce cans of tomatoes, not crushed, not
You mean
whole,
not at all?
not at all, not at
Okay.
all. And see, a lot of the tomatoes are coming from Europe, coming
Hmm.
from other places. And
Mexico, Canada.
so we may not see those brands for a
Hmm.
while. So, as we're seeing them, pick them up because these can last on the shelf a very long time. Now, if you happen to be fortunate enough to get fresh tomatoes, then you can certainly divide them. If you're not a canner, you can divide them. You can put them into smaller packages the way you want them, and you can freeze them.
Yes, you could freeze those in with your vacuum sealer, or you could
Mhm.
freeze them with a regular freezer bag. Just drop them, wash them
Absolutely.
off, and then just drop them in,
Yep.
express all the air out, and just
Mhm.
throw them in the freezer. Or you can freeze them with your vacuum sealer. Just don't suck it as tight as you would with other stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
freeze them.
And absolutely. I also picked up more salt.
Let
And
me just back up for a second, and we'll
mhm,
circle back to the salt. So
mhm,
we're talking about picking up like tomatoes and other things. So what
mhm,
Miss Leona is telling us is that when things are in season, and right now tomatoes are in season, pick
mhm.
those things up now and stock your extended pantry, which part of
Yes,
that, or I should say your four corners pantry, which part of
yes,
that is your freezer. So
yes,
think about your freezer as one of those items that you're going to use to stock up on. So as the tomatoes come in, pick those up and freeze them. As strawberries came in June, hopefully you've already done that. Right now we're getting peaches and pears and
mhm,
things like that. You can get those ready to freeze. So
absolutely. And apples are going to be coming in.
mhm,
So I already know I'm going to make my annual trip and I'm going to pick up all the apples that I can,
mhm.
bring them back, get them sliced, get them into the freezer, and have them ready for whatever it is that I
Apple
decide
pie.
that I want to use. Could be apple pie, or it might be a little applesauce, might have a little
Mhm.
bit of everything going on. But, those are the things we want. Now, while I was up, I thought, remember I was telling you earlier that I picked up a lot of zucchini.
Oh,
And so
zucchini.
what I did was I went ahead and I
Right now,
knew,
zucchini's coming in, people.
yes, zucchini's coming in and they were a great price. And so I picked up quite a few of these. I went ahead and just got them
Oh, you
shredded
got it all shredded up.
and placed them into the bag, took the air out, and they are ready to go into the freezer. And I purposely didn't put them in the freezer because I wanted to be able to show them tonight. But anyway, so zucchini's ready. And the nice thing about having them, the flatter you get them, it's not that I have to use all of these at one time. It
Mhm.
will break very easy. But
Y'all, Miss Leona's giving us a master class in what to do to freeze our stuff. So y'all better
yeah,
listen.
so when you put it in that freezer, stand it up. Remember your library books. Here's a library book right here that we can put in. It's not going to take a lot of space in your freezer. You can
Mhm.
almost put in 3 or 4 bags of
Mhm.
vegetables. And it's great to be able to have. That's ready for soup. It's ready for stew. It's ready for zucchini bread or
Mhm.
anything that we might want to prepare. So think about that as those vegetables are coming in. I did the
Okay.
same thing with onions as well. I bought quite
I
a
didn't
few.
think about onions. I never think to do that with onions, but that's a great idea. Now, you just chop them up and freeze them, or you cut them in half,
I
freeze them.
with the
How do you do
onions,
onions?
yeah, I typically have a bag that has sliced onions, little,
Mhm.
thin sliced onions, and I do them in rings as well as in halves. And then I will also just shred them. So I typically have 3 bags of onions running. And that way I can break off whatever I need for a recipe. And on
Okay.
average, it works out to about, most recipes you need at least a cup or two.
Mhm.
And so you can just you really come out like folding it this way. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. I've basically got enough for 4 recipes in there.
Okay,
So,
now you were about to talk about salt and I interrupted you.
yeah, salt's going to be another thing that we will have to keep an eye on, because we may find that certain salts that we like may start to climb in price. I did notice, and I look, this is not Morton's, but I looked at Morton's and I couldn't believe the price
You
of
like
Morton's. Yes, yes.
When it rains, it pours. That's the only kind of salt to buy. It's
Absolutely.
Morton's.
And I couldn't believe, it used to be you could get Morton salt for a little bit of nothing.
Yeah, like 25, 50 cents for a whole box.
Yes. Not anymore. That baby was $2.50 for one box.
Okay.
$2.50. I coughed, but I picked it up anyway.
Well, you know what? You have to. And like I picked up salt the other day. I got some Morton's salt that was just plain, not iodized, and it's a Morton iodized salt. And I have to get the iodized salt because Indiana is a iodine poor soil. So since we don't have like a lot of seafood and our soil is not rich in iodine, we use iodized salt for most things here. But if you're canning, of course, you don't use the iodized salt because it can make your stuff turn brown. But for dietary purposes, you do need to have iodized salt in our area. So I popped this on the screen here. Tudu said she orders her coffee from Kauai Coffee Company and it's grown in Hawaii. So we'll have to remember that. So if people want to try to order some, they can.
I hope everybody has their little notebook because I'm writing notes myself.
Yeah, I'm
writing it down to make sure I won't forget. And I will, as soon as we finish, jot that down.
There. Okay, so now let's just see.
Okay, Mary's asking if we grow anything.
I got to get caught up now.
Okay.
Somehow I lost the thread here.
Okay.
Let's see. Nita B's here. Sheila's here. Lori's here. Lori says she only buys meat when it's on sale and she freezes it in portions. Bonnie wants to know what kind of coffee maker you use. I use a Keurig. I've had this Keurig coffee machine at least 10 years. My sister gave it to me as a gift.
I have a Cuisinart.
Okay. Where did I?
Did you see? I'm trying to see where you are. Under cherry tomatoes at the store from Canada. Tutu, you're right. And I've noticed that they have not been as plentiful, not even at some of the higher price stores. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if I was telling you this or someone else, but at the Community Harvest Food Bank here in our town on Saturday, people can just drive up and they have like lines almost like Disney. There's like 10 lines of cars in the front, and then they'll have 2 or 3 lines of cars behind them, and they send them all up to the front one by one, and they'll put a box. If you have one person in the car, they'll put one box in. If there's 2 people in the car, they'll put 2 boxes of food in, and you can drive off. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to be needy or whatever. You can just go get it.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I have a friend who needs that service, so I told her I would go and get in line for her, because to drive over there and pick her up, bring her over here, go there and take her back home is more trouble than it's worth. So I'll go get in line, I'll get the box for you, and I'll bring it out there to you. And usually in those boxes, they will have like onions, potatoes, and then some other fresh produce that's in season, as well as bread, usually 1 package of meat. Well, this time they had 2 packages of those little cartons of 2 of those little cartons of cherry tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
a half a dozen of corn on the cob, because corn's in season. This is in
Yeah.
it. So a half a dozen corn on the cob, and 2 loaves of bread, some cranberry walnut bread, and then regular bread because
Mm-hmm.
Kroger's provides that,
Mm-hmm.
and some rosemary in a carton that you could put in the windowsill and let it grow,
Mm-hmm.
and limes and a couple lemons, and that was it. I was shocked. I've never seen it such a small amount. Now, when I say I've never seen such a small amount, like I said, the boxes are usually much more robust.
Mm-hmm.
But their prices, I mean, their funding has also been affected by
Mm-hmm.
a lot of their reductions. So they're
Mm-hmm.
giving out less. And I was thinking about that because, like it's September now, and November be here before you know it, and people be
Mm-hmm.
planning for Thanksgiving. And I used to volunteer there with my students. And when I was there the last time, he said last year they served over 1,500 families the week
Mm-hmm.
before Thanksgiving.
Right.
So he was thinking the week of Thanksgiving, they were going to serve even more. So, and I had spoken to him since then, and he said their funding has been cut. I'm wondering what they're going to be able to do this year and able to respond to family needs.
And I can't even fathom what turkey prices are going to be.
Yeah,
That is going to be interesting.
yeah, that's true. And this, it's not like turkey's on sale now either. So if you didn't catch one on sale at the end of last year season,
Mm-hmm.
you could be in for a rude awakening.
Oh, I know. I hate to tell you all, but I have one in the freezer
I do too.
from last year.
I do too. Okay, so anyway, we were talking about making sure that you use your freezer as part of your Four Corners pantry, taking
Mm-hmm.
advantage of timely seasonal sales. Am I missing
Absolutely.
something, Leona, or are we good there?
No, I think we're good here. We talked a little bit about we did our pantry staples and our
Mhm.
containers. Um, one thing too, I see where we were talking about, things that we like to buy. It's football season, so we're thinking about our chips and our dips and all those kind of
Mhm.
things. And I did notice because we were going to a function, I was going to buy chips, and the package said family size, so I reached up to get the family size package, and it was more air than it was chips, and the
Yes.
cost was horrible. And so, when you look at those, you have to be very cautious. You can't just assume because it says family size that there's going to be a lot in there, because it's not.
Mhm.
And so you may even consider, for those who are new at making dips, find your favorite dip, make that your signature dip, and make your own.
Yes.
Because when you start to buy them by the bottles, oh my goodness, or by the containers, it's
Mhm.
outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous.
Oh, here's the one you were asking. Do we grow anything? And yes, I
Mhm.
grow herbs, so I will grow my own herbs. So that's something I rarely buy, but I have like thyme, parsley, sage, oregano, rosemary, sometimes mint,
Mhm.
chamomile. So I will grow those herbs. I also grew some
You did
celery.
tomatoes, didn't you?
Yeah, celery, tomatoes. I've got some peppers growing out there. My
Mhm.
tomatoes didn't do quite as well. They ended up with
Mhm.
flower rot. Jerry said it was tomato flower
Oh.
rot, but the peppers are coming in
Mhm.
quite small. I think the heat
Mhm.
that we had was
Mhm.
so bad that even if I watered twice a day, I couldn't stay on top of it. But my herbs have done
Yeah.
great. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I do grow things.
I have herbs as well. And to be honest with you, we used to grow tons of cucumbers and, lettuce, the
Hmm.
works. But our yard is just not conducive for that anymore. We have so much shade. We're doing well to keep the grass growing, and because there's just no sun.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to, there's just nothing I can do about that. I have to do what I have to do. But I do have friends that have
Yes.
gardens. And
And I'm glad you said that, because that's something people want to think about, is if they have family or friends who have gardens, who have
mhm,
little orchards in their yard, take
mhm,
advantage of those items. I mean, at least everybody knows someone that has an apple tree or a pear
mhm,
tree or whatever. So do
mhm.
take advantage of that and
And you
say, you
might
know
even,
what, you got some extra apples?
oh yeah, and you might even be able to have a little conversation with them. As seeds sometimes are a little expensive. Say, well, you know what? If I buy the seeds, can we share?
Mm-hmm.
And so, kind of go in with it and
Mm-hmm.
help with the work, and you work it together. And
Yeah.
so, you make it fun and you make it more of a community in what you
Yes,
do.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Let's see. Ah, Steve is with us today. He says cherry tomatoes are easy to
Oh,
grow.
yes, they
Much
are.
easier, yes, than beefsteaks. My cherry tomatoes did fine.
Hmm.
And then Lurker says um, he's got plenty of cherry tomatoes in his backyard and dehydrated 3 trays of them so they won't go to waste. I got some out there now. I better pick them
Oh,
tomorrow and put them in the
wow.
freezer.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, the look for Nat. Nat's got the information about the Australian prices too.
Let me find Nat. Uh, oh, there he is.
Mhm.
1 pound is approximately equal to,
That's not the one.
okay.
So
Oh,
okay,
oh, ground
nine,
beef, 9.99
nine
per
per kilogram.
kilo.
That's a lot.
And a kilo is about,
Kilos heavier than
1 pound is
a
about
pound.
half a kilo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's probably how they sell it too, in
Exactly.
kilos. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
buy it the way they sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Um, all right, let me move right along. Let's make sure I'm not forgetting something. So we were talking about picking some things up now.
Uh-huh.
Pantry staples to always have in stock. And
Mm-hmm.
those include, well, I think you've already touched on that. Pantry staples
Uh-huh.
to always have in stock. You also mentioned swapping more expensive items for less expensive items. And you showed where you're getting the Kroger brand. And I'm a brand girl, but I've been buying the Kroger brand or the
Yes,
Aldi's brand a whole lot lately.
I have to. I have to. And um, and I'm not even ashamed to even go in Dollar Tree if I can find something in Dollar Tree for $1.25 that looks pretty good. But
Mm-hmm.
um, it's I think we're all going to have to put the pride aside and find what we need, pick it up, and it won't matter where it is.
Right. It won't matter where it came from. One of the
Mhm,
things that I wanted to mention when we were talking about storage is vacuum sealing.
mhm, mhm,
I vacuum seal a lot, and
mhm,
I just picked out a couple things. Like I had gotten some corn on the cob, and so I
mhm,
vacuum sealed some of that. And
mhm.
then when hubby goes
Your fish.
fishing, we vacuum seal that. Let me put this
Mhm.
in the freezer real quick. I've had
Yeah.
it sit in the sink, so I don't want it to thaw out.
While Denise is putting that in the back in the freezer, I also have these reusable Ziploc bags. And these are so nice and they're heavy, and you can use them and certainly wash them well and use them again. So that's a nice part. You're not using them and just throwing them away. But
Where
they're
do you get those?
Amazon.
Okay, those are
And
nice.
these
I have to
happen to
get
be
some of those.
called zipperoos. But,
Okay.
I think you're paying, I was paying for, I thought the bees were so cute when I got them. But since then, I have gone to just the plain cover, and they're a
Hmm.
less expensive, but these were cute. They were cute too. The kids enjoyed it.
Honey, if I brought those in my house, they wouldn't last 2 seconds. They would be out in that boat with some fishing stuff in them. He loves those kind of see-through Ziploc or plastic bags so he can keep his boating documents or bobbers or other things in the boat, like keep them corralled in different places.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now with my food saver, I buy food saver bags like this.
Oh, okay.
So you can buy the bags that are already
that are pre-cut.
And then all you have to do is fill them. So what I do is I learned from one of my viewers taught me this little trick. Make a little cuff in them, and then you fill the bag. And then once you get the bag filled, then you put this part into the vacuum sealer, and you don't have all that fish goop or whatever on the edge of here.
Okay.
So it just kind of helps keep it clean. Or
where do you usually
buy it on a roll?
Okay. Oh,
and
okay.
then you can cut them to the size that you need. And
okay.
I get these Amazon or Walmart.
Okay.
I don't buy them at Kroger because Kroger's a little, for this kind of thing, is pricier. For this kind of thing, Walmart, Target, and Amazon are the best for your vacuum sealer kind of stuff. And then I want to show this. So when I first started building my prepper pantry, I bought 2 of these, and these are huge. And they're really nice, and they got this little tray in the top. And I put flour in one and sugar in the other one. Well, here's the problem. When they're full, they are so heavy. They're very difficult to lift. That's number one. But number 2, it's not really as airtight as you would like for like sugar or something like that. So it can get a little air in there, and then it can get hard. So I would not recommend this for long-term storage. Yeah. I still use them out. Like I'll put in like all those ketchup packets and things you get. You put those in here, but it's just too big. It's just too big and too heavy for me to lift it. So I had that, and I wanted to show these. Now you already said that glass is best, so we know that glass is best. But I will use these containers like this.
Now those are OXOs, right?
Yes. And like this one, I can just take the lid off, and I got lasagna in the front and spaghetti in the back. And this one, I've got my brown sugar in. Okay. I know you have one of those fancy little things to go inside your brown sugar container. I'm gonna get one of those.
One of my little bears.
Yeah. And then these stack, and so I like them because they're attractive, they're stackable. Yes.
This is a little brown sugar bear, and you take him out, put him in water, let him stay in water for overnight, and then take him out, wipe him on a little paper towel, and stick him into your brown sugar, and your brown sugar stays nice and moist. It is
this keeps it moist, but it's like I have to wrap it up, and like I'll wrap it up real tight, make sure it's closed, and then stick it down in there. So you've got it. So tell us about your containers.
Well, this container is very similar to the Snapware. The only difference is that, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the brand name, but there was a brand name, and but the top snaps on, and then you can just do what you need. So I have both brown sugar in one, I have white granulated sugar in the other, and it stays very nicely. Now the flour, I put in an airtight container that has a little flip top to it. And it also has this little device. And so when you're taking your flour out, you just run it right under there, and it levels off your cups as you're taking it out. But it stays airtight, and Stays nice and.
And you can scoop your cup in there. I like that
Mm-hmm,
too.
mm-hmm.
Well, these are some other glass containers that I have that I like to store in. These
Mm-hmm.
are ball, I'm a ball girl. These are
Oh
ball
yeah.
jars.
Oh yeah.
But this is grits. And whereas these jars are stackable, like, why would I? These are
Yeah.
too tall. But if this is oatmeal, so if I buy those big,
Mm-hmm.
like at Costco or Sam's Club, you
Mm-hmm.
get those
Mm-hmm.
double boxes of oatmeal. So I
Mm-hmm.
might put one in here, and I will usually put like a little bit of the instructions down in there
Mm-hmm.
and keep it that way. And then the smaller ones, you can do almost anything with them, but I like to put crackers in them. One of the things I've been trying to do is make sure that however I'm storing things work for the people that live with me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got something stored in the cabinet, in a little box, or in a basket in the bed, and he can't find it, it's not working.
It's not working. I know.
It's not working. So I've learned the kind of things that he likes and the things he's looking for all the time. So I'll put my Ritz crackers. I buy those little short sacks, and they'll be like, about this big. So I'll put, now they're empty right now because he took them fishing with sardines. But I'll put the Ritz crackers in here, and I'll put some saltine crackers in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are back here on the cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
So he can see them, so he can find the things that he's looking for. And then if he wants to make grits for breakfast, it's easy to see where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing as you ladies look into how you're storing items in your working pantry and your extended pantry too. But in your working pantry, for the most part, you want to make sure that it works for the people that live with you.
That's right. And you want it visible. Have it visible, have them labeled. Denise, while we were talking about, I forgot this, honey. This is a great time to purchase local honey. And you can decide what particular location that you are, where you are, but to get it at your farmer's market. But honey is definitely, I see you got your herbs there. And but definitely honey is one of those things that is a sweetener alternative. And I typically have, now this happens to be a smaller size, and when I can get it, then I'll get a larger size, but the cost of honey is definitely going up.
Yes.
And so that's something, that you might consider, is looking at your oils, because I'm pretty sure that some of the oils are going to increase in price as well. So there may be some things that you may want to put on your shelf also.
Yeah, this might be a good time to pick up your olive oil, your avocado oil, whatever oils that you like. Whatever you buy today is going to be cheaper today than it's going to be 3 months from now.
That's
Let's
right.
just put that out there. So yeah,
And
there's that.
Now,
and I wanted to pop this up here about her putting together a soup mix. I thought, I make soup and stews all the time. My husband is saying, "Oh, you chop it again?" I'm always chopping. I could put together a little, like you said, with those ball jars. Show your jar again. But you could just do a little thing of soup mix, onions, carrots, and whatever, and just have it in there, and you could just dump it out when you're ready.
Dump it out. There you go. Ready to go.
Yes, genius chemistry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And have them ready rather than purchasing them, because now you can buy them in the freezer section. But now that we're kind of in the season of having vegetables available, make your own. And they're ready to go.
Oh, Terry, yeah, this is true. Terry said that funding is cut for a lot of the food giveaways, and private donations are down. And that was the one thing, Miss Leona and I have been talking a lot about changes in SNAP benefits that are coming. And one of the things that we've learned is that not only are SNAP benefits changing for families, but other recipients of SNAP benefits are school systems or places like Boys and Girls Club who feed children. And so because they feed children or feed children in a certain income level, they're eligible for some kind of benefit that's tied to SNAP somehow. But if as SNAP benefits are reduced, and it's going to be changes not just in what you can buy, but the budget itself is going to be reduced.
Going to be
Or
less.
the work requirements associated with them is going to be reduced. I was talking to one of my sisters who works at a daycare, and she was saying one of the moms said she had to pay $350 a week for infant daycare. And so she was trying to find one that was more cost effective, and found one that she could pay $250 a week for infant daycare. So I was just thinking about that. So if this mom is not able to afford daycare, that means she's going to have to stay home and then figure out how she's going to feed that family. So SNAP benefits may be an extension. Well, one of the things that we know is that budgets are reduced, and you think about all the paperwork that parents have to fill out to be eligible for SNAP benefits. It could be they say, you know what, it's not worth the trouble filling out all that paperwork for the amount I'm going to get, so they don't fill it out. And so then the kid has to try to apply for something at school that shows they're in a certain income level and they're eligible for free lunch or something like that. Well, because of the shame associated with that, they may not do that. And so then that kid may fall through the cracks. So many children, they get their best meals are at school. So we have to think about all of that as well. So when we look at these changes in benefits, if you have family members or friends that you don't mind supporting a little bit, you might say, hey, you know what? Is there something that I can do to help you? Maybe I can give you a $25 Kroger grocery card or something like that, just to kind of help out. Or can I give you a ride to the food bank or something like that? Think about what can you do?
Or pick up for them. You know, as you know, one thing too to think about for those some of those after school programs or before school programs is that it requires that people either come in early or stay late in order to, you know, feed the children. And if that's the case and the budget gets cut, then guess what? Those people are not going to have those salaries. They will not have those extended hours to be able to use. And some of the states, one of the things that is attached to it is that not only will the amount that recipients are supposed to receive, but they're also going to have to work so many hours in order to receive it in certain areas. Well, if we listen to what Ms. Denise just said, if a mom's going to have to pay, say, even $250 is a lot, but you know, $200 to $300 for an infant, you know, to have to pay for daycare. Imagine they're not going to make that much if they have to get a minimum wage job just to keep the SNAP benefits. And so, what are they really working for in the long run? But
so that was really kind of interesting when I read that, because I hadn't thought about that. They wouldn't want to have to bother with it because of all the paperwork involved. And I did talk to one person who said she did apply for SNAP benefits and she was going to get $30 in SNAP benefits for her income level. And she was just one person. And she does have additional money that she can buy some groceries. But she felt that it just wasn't worth it to her to fill out all that paperwork and have to go under all that scrutiny for $30. Now, luckily, she's able to do what she needs to do, and she can feed herself. And, you know, she just economizes here and there, and she does okay. But if you've got children, then, you know, we could be looking at a different situation. So Terry is asking, has cat food gone up? And if so, you have pets, you need to stock up on their food. And yes, cat food has gone up. And I tell you what, we got the last time I sent my husband to get cat food, he said, look, he need to go up for adoption. Yes, cat food has gone up. And then you know, cats are picky.
They
I
are
did not realize how picky cats. Like, you know, like I read about it or I see it in the little cat videos. I watch cat videos now. And they talk about that, but I really hadn't experienced it until I changed cat food. So I bought some new cat food. Well, he bought Friskies. I just said, pick up cat food while you're out. So he got a carton of Friskies cat food cans. They're 5-ounce cans, which was pretty good because the cartons we usually get are 3 ounces. And they had 24 in a can. You know, he didn't like that food. He did not like that food. So I gave him a can and he kind of looked at it and he walked away and he came back and he ate it because that was all that was out there. But a couple of days later, I noticed he's just not eating that food. So today I said, look, we're going to have to go back to his old food because if he's not eating that, you know, I don't want him to lose weight or whatever.
Right.
But it's like, so no commercials you see about the cats turning up their nose, it's real.
It is real.
Who would not eat that food?
Now, you might cheat because what we had to do with a cat who shall remain, we're going to have to keep him nameless, but he got a little flaky with the food that he had. And because his parents had put him on a diet and he didn't like the diet food. And yes, he's a little chunky, but he's only chunky when the grandmothers are around. But what we did was we took a little bit of broth and put a little chicken broth on the food that he didn't like. And he laughed up that food. It was like, oh my goodness, this is good. And so, but, you know, just so he would eat, because what we didn't want him to do was to lose weight.
Or too much weight.
Yes, while he was in our care. So, you know, you know, you just kind of have to play around with, but yes, they are very picky. And
you do need to stock up. So that was something I hadn't even thought about for this session because I was so busy. Well, we were focused on children and families, but you're right. You do need to stock up. And yeah, but yes, cat food has gone up. It is expensive.
It is a thing.
I might need to start a GoFundMe just to feed the cat.
You're going to have to go back to work.
Oh, no, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Oh, Judy got a free carton of eggs at Kroger. I haven't checked my coupons. You know, you get these coupons in the mail, and sometimes you'll get like a free carton of eggs or a free something.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those, because you get good stuff.
Yeah.
So let's
I'm
see.
usually more concerned about my gas points. And they keep messing with the gas points. Have you noticed that?
You know what? I don't put gas in the car. Will usually does that. So, but every now and then I'll try to go to Kroger and get it.
They keep playing around with those points. And so they're not going as far as they used to.
So Renee's been using her empty juice containers to use as storage for some items. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on.
Oh, Lurker Smurf said that there's a new, I see where you are. Go down to there, a new 4-jar vacuum bags.
I haven't seen those. I haven't even seen their lids, but I've heard they have good lids because Lisa
I have their
Sutton
lids. I have the lids.
Where do you get the Lurker? Do you order from them or Amazon or where?
I think when I got my lids, I ordered directly from 4-jar. I don't know about those.
So Renee's got some off-brand Food Saver bags at Walmart. Yeah, I think I've gotten some there too, but I'm pretty much a brand girl.
Yeah, for those kind of things anyway.
Now, you know, Mary, this is a good idea. Having a picnic is a good way to still eat out. And that was one of the things that it did say in the articles that we looked at is that people are focused more on eating in now. And one of the things you might want to consider is dupes. So, for example, if you like Panda Express, do a Panda Express dupe. Like, how can you make their orange chicken? Like, I've learned how to make a dupe for the Olive Garden Zuppa Toscano, the KFC chicken pot pie. There's some dupes that you can find recipes for online that you can make at home. And Miss Leona, you're going to show us how to do pizza.
Yes, and that's coming soon because I want to do a cast iron pizza where you
Yes.
make a deep dish in a cast iron. And so that's going to be something that's coming up. And actually, that's going to be on a sourdough Sunday that we're going to
Oh.
do that coming up. But it won't be this week, but it's coming. And but those are some of the things that are getting awfully pricey. And then by the time you add the tips on top of it, I'm looking at them going, oh my gosh.
Well, exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that. The tips on top of it. So by the time you add the tip, you know, I ordered groceries the other day and it was like $165 and I gave an 18% tip, which is what I give at the restaurant. I was like, dang, that was almost $20. Then I'm thinking, okay, so what about the restaurant? I don't spend quite that much typically.
No.
So I might need to rethink how much I tip when they bring those groceries out because I have no idea what they make. But Jerry wants to know, are food saver bags reusable? Yes and no.
Yes, that's true.
They're reusable if you like freeze like corn or something like that. But anything that protein has been in, any kind of meat or protein,
oils,
you can't
anything
reuse
oily.
Yeah, anything oily or protein based, you cannot reuse those.
No.
Oh, Costco often has deals on food saver bags. Okay, did not know that. I don't have a Costco membership though. So Lurker is saying you can wash and reuse them, but again, remember, Jerry, you can only wash and reuse them if they're not oily or no protein in them. If you've had meat frozen in them or something oily, no.
And I mean, even if you do vinegar or I know I have been known to reuse a Ziploc bag, but I don't use it for food. You know, I might use it to store something in, like give it to the big guy so he can store nails or whatever. Oh, the brown sugar bears you can get at Amazon. And I'm trying to think, I may even have him in my store. But the little brown sugar bears, and in fact, they come most of the time in a set of two. So that you can get two.
Okay. So Carol says she uses her little sugar bear and she loves it.
Good.
And Renee says she puts marshmallows in her brown sugar.
Huh.
I did not know that. Good idea.
Huh. Well, how about that? Oh, that's got to be good. The kids would love that. Pull that out.
Yeah. And then Lurker got some containers at the restaurant store.
Oh, okay.
So Limitless has an oval clay dish for her brown sugar thingy.
Okay. Same thing,
just
a different shape.
Yeah. Thrift store for glass containers. Oh, this is a great time to buy honey. With the Jewish holidays near, you always find great prices in September and October. I did not know that.
I didn't know the timing.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know the timing. That's nice to know. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll stock up now.
Definitely.
Lurker says never buy a case of something until you tried it first. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh my goodness.
So Steve says his dog turned up her nose at dry food. She took it to the counter and pretended to put different spices in it, and then she was delighted and ate it up. Well, my daughter's husband does that with their cat. If he puts the food out, the cat doesn't eat it. He'll add a little bit to it, stir it up, and the cat will eat it. And my cat's an outdoor cat. He's out there catching mice and other things. So you would think he would eat a can of Friskies, but he turned up his little nose and walked away. Okay, so Renee's been stocking up on cooking oil. She buys a bottle every couple of weeks. So she wants to build up a stock for at least 6 months. Okay. 4 jars is usually on their website. And Dolores got some nice Tupperware at an estate sale.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool. Okay, let's make sure we got everything. We wanted to talk about why grocery prices are rising, pantry staples, smart storage strategies. And I think we've kind of been all over the place with that. But it's been important things though,
Mhm.
so.
Well, let's remind everybody, now is the time to do your pantry check. And I mean,
Yes.
seriously, pencil and paper, look through your pantry. See, it should be easy. I know I started mine today. I can look and see what I'm missing, what I'm low on. I can go to my backup
Hmm.
pantry and start to fill in. Then that way I can look at my storage and say, whoo, I'm low on this. And
Hmm.
today I found I was low on sugar. And
I was
I
low on flour.
well, I did have 2 bags of flour, so I was good with that. But and of course salt. I had to go buy salt. And but those are things that at this point we need those critical items in our pantry now. And as you're putting together your grocery list, add your holiday items to that,
Now's the
because
time.
so
You're right.
you can start picking up the holiday items that you know you're going to need, whether it's spices, whether it's extra green beans or whatever it may be that you know you're going to need. Now's the time to pick it up, because by November and December, prices more than likely will be much higher than what they are today.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
let's shop
And
now.
you might even consider putting them in a little bin and setting it aside, like here's the holiday bin. Because
Mm-hmm.
what you don't want to do is buy these extra things for the holidays and then end up using them up. And
Yes.
keep it in mind that when the holidays do get here, things will go on sale, and then that'll be
Mhm.
your time to pick up extra for the rest of the year
For
and
the
for
rest.
the upcoming year.
Mhm.
So you can
Mhm.
pick up stuff at Thanksgiving for the Christmas holiday. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely you want to plan ahead for that.
And do what we did. We made a little space in the freezer, and when turkeys went on sale, we picked up two.
Hmm.
And that has served us well, because
Hmm.
I've still got a turkey that I can use.
Exactly. I've got one in there too. One other thing that you talked about was the taking some time to do a pantry inventory so as you begin to
Mhm.
restock. I think a couple of the ladies or gents mentioned that they were doing a restock right now.
Mhm.
And one of the things that you can do is just start seeing what you got, seeing what you need, and planning ahead, because foreplanned is forewarned.
Mhm.
Forewarned is forearmed or something like that. I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
But anyway,
We're
planning ahead works.
right. Absolutely. I was looking here. So Limited was saying that TJ Maxx and Marshalls are great places to buy OXO containers and cookware. That's true. Now, you may not be able to find it as a set, but you may be able to find the particular piece that you like the best. Because sometimes when you buy, the box set, you'll have like one,
Mhm.
and at least when you're at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you can focus on, I really would like to have had two of these. Well, that's how you can pick up that second one, and it's not quite so expensive.
Mhm.
Renee mentioned, wanted to know any tips for spices not getting hard in their bottles.
I think one of the things to think about, like with salt, that kind of thing, is
Hmm.
don't pour the salt over the pot. Like if
Right.
you've got the salt and you've got the steam rising from the pot, and then you're trying to
Hmm.
pour a teaspoon or whatever, some of that moisture is going to get into that salt, and you can end up with the little blocks in there. So that's one thing. And then just make sure that the lid is on tight, just put it on
Absolutely.
as tight as you can. I
Mhm.
can't think of anything else. Can
Well,
you?
other than salt, salt, we used to put rice in there to
Mm-hmm.
kind of keep it loose. And I don't know if that works with other spices as well, whether you could drop a few grains of salt in there to kind of
Mm-hmm.
take up some of the moisture. I'm not sure about that. I'll
Yeah.
check into that and
Okay.
get back to that next week.
Because
Moisture.
some of those other spices might have caking agents or not have caking agents in them.
Hmm.
When we did the taco seasoning,
Uh-huh.
one of the things that I find is that, some of the ones that you buy, they'll have caking agents in them
Yes.
to keep them from getting hard. Whereas when
Mm-hmm.
you put together your own, they don't have that in them.
Right. Right.
That's something to think
That's
about.
one less thing that's in there because there's nothing there that you actually have to take.
So now Dolores suggests when you're shopping those sales, buy things you could eat cold if you lose power. And that's true
That's
too.
true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things that you can just open the can and eat out of the can, like baked beans, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those little
Mm-hmm.
fruit cups, juice
Mm-hmm.
pouches, have those kind of things on your pantry shelf as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that,
And make sure too you have an old-fashioned can opener.
yes.
That is one of those.
Yes.
Everybody needs to have a regular can opener.
Because if the power's out, the electric one won't work.
Won't work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, Renee. And I do that. Put your pecans and nuts
Yes.
in there. Yes.
Oh, Terry said she had paprika get little lumps in it. I've not had that happen.
I have had that a couple of times, but now I have to admit I'm guilty. A lot of times I will open that jar right there over where I'm working. So moisture, I know.
And that steam gets in there. So yeah, that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask the people out there. So what is one pantry staple you can't live without? Let us know. What is one pantry staple you cannot live without? And that's even a hard one for me to think about. I'm trying to think what pantry staple.
Just one. I have to say for me, black pepper.
I'm going to have to say flour.
Okay.
If you think about it, if you have flour, you can make bread, you can make pancakes.
Well, that's true.
You can make gravy. You can do a lot with flour. Now we're gonna need the spices, so we will need that pepper to season some things. But or maybe rice. I don't know.
Rice would have. I'd have to have rice or maybe. I'm a sugar girl, but flour definitely, because there's just so many things you can do with it. And if you have flour, salt, water, you got bread.
I did want to show this. I almost forgot. I had set it aside so I didn't trip on it, because somebody's going to trip over something. It's going to be me. But this is just one of those buckets you can get at Tractor Supply, Walmart, whatever. It's just those 5-gallon buckets. Got flour in here, all-purpose flour. And you can get a regular lid for it, or you can get one of these gamma lids.
Oh. Where do you get the gamma lid to fit it?
I got it at Tractor Supply.
Oh.
And you can order them from Amazon.
Okay.
But I would look for Tractor Supply or some kind of a place like that. They're going to be cheaper there, because it costs about $8 each for the lid.
Oh. Okay.
But so I vacuum sealed. This is my White Lily bread flour. So I vacuum sealed that in here. I've got some Maseca flour. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this Maseca flour. Have you ever used that?
No.
It just happened to be on sale, so I bought it. So I guess I just learned how to make it. If anybody out there know what to do with Maseca flour, let me know. It's a Hispanic flour, or
that's a Hispanic flour that you'd make.
Yeah. Oh, and then I had a small bag of all-purpose flour, so I seal this. It's about probably about 3 or 4 cups. Okay. But it's easy for me to get in. And then I have some that, I only have 3 of these lids. So the rest of the lids just are those kind that you just press on, and then you have to have that thing to pry them up.
Right.
But this is another way that you can store things long term. I just have it in a closet and it's out of the way. So. Okay. Let's see. I think we have. Oh, Massacre. There it is. Lurker says the corn flour for tortillas. You can also use it for
Ah,
pupusas. I don't know what that is. So Domestic Diva says make tortillas.
oh, tamales. You
Oh,
can make tamales,
okay.
the outer part. Okay.
Yes. And then Hazel said make sure you get the food grade buckets. And
Food
yes, this one is
grade.
food grade.
Okay. That's a food grade.
I'm
Okay.
glad you said that, Hazel, too. And
Okay.
it
Because
will
I was
say
getting ready to
on
say,
here,
hmm.
it'll say food grade
Ah,
because they will
okay.
have some at Walmart or Menards that
Hmm.
are not food grade.
Right,
Make sure
right.
you get the food grade one. And we've even
Okay.
got one that we put cat food in, but it doesn't have this kind of lid on it. It's just got the
Okay.
regular lid.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, there's that.
Renee's mentioning the fact that she had never thought about vacuum sealing the flour, and she's going to have to do that with
It
her
does work.
flour and
I'll put some
cornstarch.
bay leaves down inside the bag.
Mm-hmm.
But what
Mm-hmm.
I do to do that is
Because you don't want any little creatures coming out.
no, I'll get like these little brown lunch bags and I'll
Mm-hmm.
fill it like with either 2 cups, 4 cups, or 6 cups of
Mm-hmm.
flour. Now these are the small bags, so they won't hold
Mm-hmm.
6 cups.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I will put it in the bag. Then I can label on the bag what's in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will put this inside the vacuum sealer bag,
Mm-hmm.
and then just vacuum seal it.
Well, now that you're making more bread, you could actually put your flour pre-measured in your bag.
Oh,
Have it in
yeah.
your container, ready to go.
This one is how many? This is white lily bread flour. It doesn't
Uh-huh.
say how many cups. Oh wait, yes it does. About 6 cups.
Okay, so you got enough for 2 bowls of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So there's that. So I wanted to make sure we covered all the storage options.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, that's a good one. I had not used the Gamma Seal.
yeah, the Gamma Seal is nice. Okay, I think we have covered everything. Smart storage solutions.
I think so.
All right, so we showed you guys how to save money on groceries. We also talked about some smart storage solutions, and Miss Leona shared with you that glass is best, and she showed you several things you can do. That you can repurpose glass, use your ball jars, that kind of thing.
One thing real quick, Dolores mentioned the fact that if you buy flour at the store, should you put it in the freezer to kill any bugs? Now, it's interesting because I just read an article about that. And typically what I will do, this jar has been in the freezer. And so when I first filled it, I put it in the freezer, left it in there for several days. And so now I can take it out because I know whatever's in there was definitely gone. Or I could have done it as a bag and put it in the freezer and then poured it in.
Yes.
But I know back during COVID, I did have a lot of flour in the freezer. And just because I wanted to buy enough. So you might consider that. And if you have the space to be able to do that, then definitely that would be something you'd like to do.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what you want to do. So, okay. So today we showed you guys how to save money on groceries. We talked about the right staples you need to have in your pantry. We talked about storage options. So next time, Miss Leona, what you got in store for us?
Whew. Well, we are going to talk a little more about storing and supplies, and we're going to expand it, not just in the kitchen, but we're going to take it out into the house. And so it was funny because I really, it was even though we had talked like yesterday, I thought you were going to lean a little more toward house and expanding into the house. But you know what? We've got some things that we need to do in the house as well that is going to help us all, and some things that we need to do right here in the kitchen. So we're going to be talking about some of those things that we need to do in the kitchen before we get too deep into the fall, and
Mm-hmm.
to get our kitchens and our homes ready for the holidays that are right
Yes,
around the
yes.
corner.
And if we start getting ready early, then we won't feel so stressed and overwhelmed. And also, we can lean into cozy fall drinks like the pumpkin spice
Yes.
latte and all that good stuff too. So, okay, you guys, let us know what. Oh, look, you got a pumpkin already.
Yes. Isn't
Oh,
he cute?
it
He was just the
is.
perfect little size and shape. He
Yeah,
came home with me.
I can see why. I can see why. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to see you guys next week. Be sure to join us next time. And be sure to check out Miss Leona's channel. If you have not signed up to become a member of her community, please do so. She is on her way to 5K, and we need you guys to help her get there. And I don't think I've got the description box filled very well yet, but I will get that occupied. And so then you guys can check it out. So in the meantime, we will see you guys next week. Same time, same station. Well, different station, but same time.
All right. All right. See you then.
Bye.